Welcome to Marketing with Confidence. I'm your host, Marianne Amies. We're going to be talking all things digital and online marketing for business owners and marketing professionals. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by your digital marketing, be sure to listen along and you'll hear tips, interviews and more that will give you the confidence to create marketing you love. Welcome back to another episode of Marketing with Confidence. I'm so excited today to be joined by Nicole Smith, and we're going to be talking about the new wave of Fractional C-Suite. How are you, Nicole?
I'm very well, thank you. Very excited to be here.
Fantastic. Look, to kick us off, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us how you became passionate about business operations.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Nicole Smith. My business is the Artisans Business Solutions. And we support businesses to really align their tech and their team together and make their operations seamless and smooth and a really enjoyable experience each and every day. Now, how did I become passionate? Well, I think from an early age, I've been one of those people that love to get things structured and organized. And then when that translated into the business world, I even remember back to my first role as a receptionist in an accounting firm. I reorganized their filing structures. I helped to implement a new CRM system, and that was my first ever real job. So I think it just took off from there, and I really love it. It's so fun.
Fantastic. Awesome. I'm a well-organized person. I love operations and systems, but I shouldn't overstate it. I can also be really loose. I love to be personally organized, but it took a long time in my business for me to kind of go, all right, it can't all live in my head. And, as I've grown, especially, we need processes, we need systems, and the transformation of having great processes and systems in place is, you would know better than anyone, is just indescribable, in terms of time, in terms of even just stress. It's such an amazing and important piece of work to go through.
Yeah, it's that consistency as well, especially as you're growing a team and you're bringing people on board, giving them the confidence to be able to operate within your business the way that you want your client experience to be, regardless on who they're connecting with, is so important. And something to remember as well is anything to do with operations, it's designing the foundations to support you, but that actually then creates a space for you to be who you are and really, dance in between your area of fun.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, look, to get to know you a little bit better, I'd love to hear about your favorite business book.
Yeah, I was thinking about this one. One that I read really early on was called Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull. Now, it was the story, he was going back in time, CEO of Pixar Films right back in the days. And if you haven't read it, go and do yourself a favor and enjoy it, because it was a beautiful experience around, he had set this goal to be the first to have an animated film out in the world. And then Toy Story happened and he achieved it. And then it was that moment of what's next?
Yeah.
Overcoming that, what was next for him. So I just really have held that what's next in my mind, I think, throughout the whole journey. Every time I got to a point, I'm like, okay, I could sit here, but what is my next thing? What's the next focus where I'm going to be moving through to? So it's a fun book. And
I love that.
Who doesn't love Pixar?
I'll have to check it out. I haven't come across that yet, so it's a good one to have a look at. And then, who's your best follow? Who can't you get enough of on social media or podcasts? What are you loving?
Yeah, so in Melbourne, there's a fabulous human called Jackie Felgate, and I just love following her and all the things that she shares on Instagram, the connections of finding pets and knowing that Optus is having an outage or someone else has run into the bridge in Melbourne. It's just one of those things that's just, I love it when the circle pops up in the stories in Instagram.
I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. And I guess finally, what gets you out of bed each day? What's your big motivator?
Learning and discovering new things. Like I could say my family love them, could say my dog love him too, but really I am so passionate in this space, and it's just really exciting. Every conversation we discover something new, and there's always a way to achieve something. So it's like curiosity. I think what can we achieve? What can we learn?
Oh, fantastic. I love that. So look, to kick off, I'd love to hear more about the term of fractional C-suite. I must admit, when you sent me, a new wave of fractional C-suite, I was like, oh, I know C-suite, but what is this? What is this new terminology? So I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I think, America always leads the way in these terms. I know it's quite common over there. But if you are familiar with a C-suite in an organization, they are the sort of senior level managers or leaders in a business that help to drive the organization. Now, as a small business, a smaller business, we may not have the funds to invest to bring a full-time person in, nor do we maybe need a full-time human in that particular role, be it COO, CFO, whatever it might be. So fractional is part-time, right?
Yeah.
For a purpose to support you through to wherever it might be. And so, I'm really wanting to champion this. There's a few of us using the fractional terminology around. So keep your eye out for it. But it's a really powerful way of bringing in someone with a certain expertise to support you to move through to whatever it is you're looking to achieve in your business.
I love that. And funny, I did, probably 4 years ago, I was in a business development program called EO. And it was, it's like based around the gazelles and the sprints, and it's very corporate. And we were in a program called the Accelerator, and it was like the little brothers and sisters, like the businesses under $1 million. And then, in the grown-ups program was like Kiki K and, all these amazing big businesses. And I loved that program because they had a learning day every quarter, and you had monthly sort of group mentoring in person. But they were always talking about all these positions that I just didn't have. I've been on my own for 13 years. I have a team, but I guess I have a team of doers, right? Like I don't have a lot of operational support. And, they'd sort of go, well, every week you need to meet with your senior leadership team and revisit. I'm like, but I don't have any of that. Yeah, exactly. And then as I guess, like I've grown and had, I left that program and I've had other coaching and I guess networked with other people, I've become so familiar with that theory of kind of like the CEO day and kind of using that day to organize yourself and to stay on top of your numbers and your operational. But there is definitely roles that we're not really equipped for. I mean, I'm a marketer who happens to be lucky that I spent some time as an accountant. So I have, I can wear like 1.5 hats. But there's so much operational systems, HR, all those things that, I'm not equipped for. So I think that's a great, that's such a need for business owners to have access to those important roles, but in a sustainable way.
That's right. And, one that is top of mind as we are recording today, it is the outage of Optus, which is fabulous. So I was sharing before we first play, it's that real realization of what is your technical redundancy strategy. So if a thing happens, what do we do? And so liaising with a fractional CTO to bring those policies and those strategies so that then you know how to maintain them going forward. You've got your best practices, you're aware, you've got the knowledge, and that means that you're equipped to move through, to that next thing.
Yeah, which again, like so interesting. And you sort of mentioned it before we got on the call about, it's almost like that backup plan or that guide of what do we do if. And I thought, I sort of said to you, I was just lucky that my team were all remote today and I seem to be the only person affected by the outage as I sit here in my mum's house recording the podcast. But I don't know. I actually, and it red flags me like, if we had if all 8 of us were in the office today and the internet, I don't know if we would have all just gone home, and that just seems like such a waste to have come. So it is fascinating, I guess, as a business owner, I'm constantly learning, constantly having my mind open to the next thing. So now I'm sort of like, oh, we need one of those plans.
Yeah. Oh, and in the corporate land, they're called disaster recovery plans.
Yes.
So it's, as if your server in the server room just died, what would happen to reboot it? How long would it take to get on back online? So it's awareness, right? Awareness of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. And I guess, this fractional C-suite, is that the key for us business owners in freeing ourselves from our, the chain and the ball and chain, or that is our businesses?
I think as small business leaders, we have this beautiful opportunity to create a container of trusted humans, right? And so as you, as a business leader in marketing, what are those areas that are important for your business to support it to grow, to support your team to be performing at the optimal level, to support you to be actually stepping in and playing in that space that will be the most impactful for your business. And so that may look like bringing in a COO to do an evaluation to see, are your systems optimized? Are your team feeling confident in the way they're working? Is that tech solution actually aligned with the experience you're wanting to create? I think it's one of those things where when we're in our business, we're inside the box, we're in there, right? You've got someone fresh coming in at a higher level, holistically looking at what is going on and be able to make those recommendations and help you to implement it as well, support your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it, comes back to that greatest struggle, which is working on your business, working in your business. And, even, sort of reflect on myself, and even as far as I have come, I will always put aside the working on when the working in gets too busy. If we have a bottleneck or a certain strategy needs to be done and I'm the person that has to do it, I just had my quarterly meeting with my accountant this morning, and we were talking about some, new forecasting, and I'm really excited, but I know I'll go away and not maintain it because I'll get busy on other things. And I think, again, having that right support in place, having those right systems in place.
Yeah, and I think operations is maybe not, I love it obviously, but it's not the most sexy part of business, right?
Yeah.
It's like, another system, another process, SOP, standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
Oh, do I really need it? And I'm like, yeah, like imagine if you discover how you want to operate and then you design it so it actually aligns with the experience you internally and your clients are going to experience.
Yeah.
And then it becomes real. It's life. Your team love it. You love it. And you have that space now. You don't have to worry about pressing 10 buttons.
Yeah.
Press 1 and things happen. It's just such a transformational experience.
Oh, absolutely. I was talking to my coach the other day, and she was sort of saying, we're sort of mapping out, what's my vision for me, in the next 3 years. And I said, I'd love to be able to take 2 weeks off and literally not be needed. I take time off and my team do an amazing job, but I know, I need to check email a couple times a day. And it's silly things like the 2FA codes that still find their way to me, so it's sort of like sometimes it's not even critical decisions. It's the literal SMS code that comes to my phone. And, I think I'd actually really love, it's 13 years and I haven't had it, but, an actual 2-week holiday and I could leave my laptop at home, that would be confusing.
Who even am I? What is this cocktail?
Look at me. I know. I don't know Wi-Fi, no worries.
Bring on Optus Outset. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. I could live it all again. Well, I guess, you touched on it briefly, but, it sounds like there is a real, alignment of tech and team. So what are your top tips, I guess, for business owners looking to kind of get the tech and team working together to really be able to maximize and free themselves?
Yeah, so it really does start with discovering what's happening right now and really being aware of where you're wanting to be. So once you have those 2 keys, then we're looking at, okay, what is that experience we're shaping? Who is involved? What piece of tech is actually going to be the most supportive for us? What is the most streamlined process? Are we introducing automations, or actually is it more important to have that human touch for that element? So it's really around, people jump straight into pressing buttons. I was having this conversation this morning. You may not know, but I'm a lover of ClickUp. We use that in my business and help many people to implement it into theirs. And one of my clients was sharing an experience where she was in someone else's ClickUp and she was like, notifications everywhere. I don't know where to go. It's all a mess. All comes down to design, right? And remember as well, tech is actually complementary to that process. So if you're trying to shove things into a piece of tech, we're going the wrong way about it. Just remove the tech for a minute.
I do love that. I can relate to that. We were really early adopter of Monday.com. In fact, it was called something else when we started, something really silly, which I can't think of now, but it was like a funny slang word. And then they rebranded to Monday. And it was kind of like maybe 2 years ago that I sort of engaged some expert support and redesigned our whole approach to Monday. And exactly like that, realized we just kind of gone from a love of spreadsheets to just kind of underutilizing the platform, shoving in what we had, and it really wasn't making our life any better. And, tech is amazing, but obviously, we still need to draw it out, design, create the architecture of what you want that tech to actually do.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where engaging someone who does know all the things, but also has the understanding of what can be possible outside of the limitations of X, Y, Z. It's that logic-driven thinking. It's that broader than, okay, this is the problem with the solution. What if we looked at it this way? That curiosity to discover what can be is such an important part of it.
Yeah, amazing. I guess one other thing I'd love to ask you, back to that kind of fractional C-suite, in a small business, what do you think the key roles that they need to tap into look like?
So I guess it depends on what your role is a bit in the business, right? So it might be a CMO, a chief marketing officer. If someone's, at that higher level of marketing, COO, which is where we sit, a CTO. Oh my gosh, we're going to do it. There are so many CTOs all out there, right? It's really around, again, what is the business objective that you're looking to achieve? And what is that gap in your knowledge or in your team's knowledge that you're looking to fill? Now, there are so many people at so many different levels you can bring in. And so it's really around, are you looking to make that transformation, organizational shift, or is it just micro, let's just get this thing done? So having that sort of question as well,
Fantastic. That's so interesting. Obviously, I know that it's going to be really interesting to everyone listening, but I find it so personally interesting as well, thinking about the different, I guess, and I guess the benefit of where workplaces have gone today in small business, we're able to really rethink traditional structures. We're able to really create the business that we want, and I think it's fantastic that there's an opportunity to tap into those resources and as we said at the start, like sustainably, so to be able to do it in a way where someone can support you on a project basis or someone can support you on an ongoing basis, but a certain amount of hours or a certain number of days, not that's going to bloat you and you're not going to be able to sustain your business.
I think that's something really important to realize if you are bringing in whoever, really, a contractor, an employee. It is a temporary relationship, right? And it serves a purpose for a time. And it's amazing when you actually reach the end of that time. I always say my role is to actually work myself out of a job.
Yeah.
Right? If I can get an organization to be sustainably and operating optimally, then that is a huge celebration. Pop the champagne. Let's go.
And that must bring you so much satisfaction as well, to sort of enter in a business and see disorganization or overwhelm and to walk away and just see, I guess, like a smooth engine running, right?
Oh, I'm just about to commence a project at the moment, and it's described as like lots of interweaving threads. And I'm so excited to just pull the threads out and just smooth. And it's just the impact goes far beyond what I do. It's the team that's impacted. It's the business leader. It's the clients. It's the flow on is just like, oh yeah, it makes my heart sing, literally sing most times. So, you know.
Well, I can hear all that enthusiasm coming out of you. And as I said, like, I'm so thankful for this discussion today and what you've talked about, but where can people find you and connect and learn more as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So my website's theartisans.com.au, and I'm on all the platforms at the Artisans Solutions. There's an S in the middle there. Or come and find me on LinkedIn. I'm Nicole Smith, so you might find me, but look for the Artisans. Why did I marry a Smith? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple of other Smiths on there.
Yeah. But I look forward to connecting with you. Please reach out, and I love to meet new humans.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Nicole. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Hey, thanks for listening to another episode. If you don't want to miss one, make sure you subscribe to the show in your podcast app. And if you love it, be sure to share it with friends and colleagues who you think could benefit from increasing their digital marketing confidence. Want more? Head to marianneamies.com to find out how you can work with me directly, to reach out to have me speak at your event, or to grab yourself some free resources.